What it says. You are live, says my little stream. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am great, thank you. I love your pretty wall behind you.
Thank you. This
I
is
like
we
that.
actually told us it's Starbucks used to be popular. I guess I can't say that word anymore, but it's our Starbucks room.
Oh,
It's it's just a fun room. I've got a funky couch. I've got a purple couch and
nice.
fire
I
engine
love
red.
that. Yeah, you and I were just talking about the fact, yeah, out here in Vegas, we don't have basements or lower levels. And so everything's basically one floor or up, and we don't want a two-story. So we're on a single story. Um, Again, Midwest, y'all call that ranch style. They don't really call it that out here. But yeah, I miss that extra space. And boy, I need an extra room in my house, and it would be nice to be able to go downstairs and have a room.
Yep, I hear you.
Well, that is great. So everybody, good morning. We're trying a new platform again. I tried this one about 6 months ago, so we're going to see if we see what we think about this. I love it because we're actually streaming on 3 different locations. And I think if I want to go to the next level of this, we can stream to 5 at the same time. Now, that is cool because then I don't need to go in and share it. Because usually after our show, I go in and share it to the various locations. So anyway, we're trying this. The biggest thing, if you guys could help us out, is that it's same as with Zoom in that, well, I guess it wasn't Zoom. It was Be Live. Because if you wanted to make a comment to us, you had to just, okay it for them to show your name. So I posted everything in the comment box over here so you can see. Lisa, good morning. Hey, Lisa, if you're decent and you want to join on, I can send you a link real quick. I love it when I see your name. So thank you, Lisa. So as you see, Lisa did that. So she had given them, her permission to show her name and her picture. So I see it just like it's on Facebook. And so that is the thing that I like compared to Zoom. And Dr. Laura and I were talking about the fact that on Zoom, we don't get to see the comments at all. So we have to have a separate space. So that's why I'm trying new things. And and Lisa also is one that knows a lot about a lot of different things. So if you found an even better one, Lisa, be sure to let me know. So we like that. So how are you feeling, Dr. Laura? We're in a new year. Where are you today?
Well, I'm sitting in my front room, but we call it red room. That's real original. But no, I am feeling great. I am super excited. Like we've talked about on Doc and Queenie, I have great expectancy for this year. I'm trying to get motivated. I know it's only Tuesday, but I've got a long list of things to get started and work on for my business and my podcasting and my YouTube and all of that. And then personally, it's like everybody else. It's coming down from eating food that I normally don't eat for the past 2 weeks because my birthday is right 10 days before Christmas. So that kind of starts the I love sugar. I admit it. I love sugar.
I'm so glad to hear somebody else loves sugar because everybody that knows me knows I do. It's like, man, and it's addictive. I mean, literally.
It's proven to be addictive. But yeah, getting my diet back into line and those kinds of things, and just getting back into the routine. My husband was off. His business, they usually take off between Christmas and New Year's, so he's home. So all of that was just the routine was off. So now I'm trying to just get back on the routine.
Yeah, and that I think there's something really, I'm trying to think of the word, good about that. I think we do better with routine. And then, of course, every so often you have to break the routine because, you get in a rut. But going back to, some, whatever that is, even a COVID routine,
Right.
And that's what's been nice. I mean, with the Tuesday show, pretty much as my routine. And it was weird when I missed the Tuesday right before Christmas because I had family, coming in. We didn't have all the family, as y'all know, just my sister and my little nephew came in from Utah. But just that change, and although that, that was really nice, it does feel bad to kind of get back and plant my feet again. Like, okay. And I guess it's not quite over. I realized when I woke up this morning, it's like I was so looking forward to today. The dog went to daycare, doggy care. We have one day a week where we send her out so I can have a day, and realized, oh yeah, I forgot. And I'm the one that set it up. I have to be at church at 9:30 to undecorate the church because this is Epiphany. So next Sunday, everything has to be out. That's Christmas. So, like, what? I messed up my own self. So it's kind of getting all those things done so we can. And one of the new things, so that's what we're talking about this morning. That we're in a new year and like new you, new vision, new goal, just new. Get rid of the past. We're out of 2020. And although there's a lot that carries over, obviously, because we're still in certain amounts of lockdown and we're waiting on the shot and all of that. There is something great about looking forward and seeing, what new things. And I'm going to one of the things I'm going to do, I'm not going to say I'm going to try because try doesn't do anything, but I'm going to do it and see how I like it and see how it works for a new schedule. Is I know myself enough to know that on Monday mornings, I have to I guess it's nesting. I have to reground myself and get the house sort of ready for the week. And so whether it's take the sheets off the bed or do the wash or, whatever those things are, it just seems like every Monday morning, it's at least till noon before I feel like I'm ready to maybe sit down at my desk or something. So I got to thinking about what if I started a new routine of Mondays and Fridays being my family household kind of days, because Fridays also, it's like a wind down. We start the weekend early because we can, and so, but really focus on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of really doing my stuff for my business. Watch the classes that I'm in and the workshops that I'm in and reach out to clients and that type of thing. So I'm thinking rather than always feeling frustrated that on Monday, I don't ever get down to business, so to speak, just tell myself, Monday's your household, whatever day. And then, plan that, because the truth is, I don't really focus for long periods of time very well. So if I just say I'm going to work my business on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think maybe I'll be more productive. So that's my new routine I'm going to try. So what about you? Do you have something new you're kicking in?
Well,
doesn't have to be routine, whatever. Just
it is actually, I'm always trying to get my routine where I want it. And it made some good points. It's taking little chunks, or I teach little steps, one step at a time. And if you can keep that going for 21 days, then hopefully it has become a routine. But for me, it's going to bed earlier and getting up at the same time. I'm starting small.
That's a pretty big one, though.
Yeah, it is, because I'm a night owl. I mean, I get my second wind about 10, 11, somewhere in there. Yeah. And that's just, that's I've always been that way, but I've started becoming an early riser, which it's kind of like, well, which is it? But so there's that little mini routine. And then I'm working business wise, I'm working on a book, and then just developing the podcast, development, and in addition to working with clients. So, but like that's a great idea to focus, because my Mondays, I'm not a Monday person. And it takes a while to get going. And it's usually by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, oh, it's 3 o'clock. I have so much to do, and it's almost like I kind of, first thing in the morning, I don't move too quickly on a Monday. But that makes sense.
Well, like I said, it's kind of the first time that I've had that thought, that aha, like, oh, well, maybe I should quit frustrating myself. Because wouldn't you agree, Dr. Laura, that so many times the frustrations that we have are the ones we put on ourselves? I mean, we set ourselves up for frustration, whether we realize it or not. My favorite example of that is, I don't remember, who do y'all have there as your cable company?
We have Spectrum. It used to be Time Warner.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so it's called Spectrum now. So I just realized early that in 95% of the cases, it is always going to take you longer than you want to take care of something with the cable company. or whoever else. Okay, whoever it is, if it's utilities, whatever it is, it's going to take you longer than 5 minutes to do it. But I used to, I'd be running out the door and, oh, let me make this last phone call and call, for me here it's Cox. So it's like, okay, now why would I do that? Because now I'm 10 minutes behind here. I should have left the house 10 minutes ago, and then I'm driving too fast to get to church or wherever it is that I'm going. So I've realized that I just wait until I know I have an hour. I mean, literally this I do. So when I call Cox, I plan it ahead, or any of those people that when you call them, whether it's utilities or something, it's going to be a long conversation. So rather than setting myself up to be frustrated, I give myself a good at least half hour. But usually I say, okay, I've got an hour. I'm going to just get this taken care of and get it done. Same way if I call Sprint, whatever it is, those kind of places. And then if it only takes 10 or 15 minutes, I'm elated because now I have an extra 45 minutes I hadn't counted on. So look at your life and your routine and say, what are the things that you're doing that are setting yourself up for frustration? And that one there of just, this really isn't topic of new, but this is a new way to look at the year, right?
Oh, yeah, it ties into, I think we've touched on it. I know I touched on it and other things with expectation, which ties into the story in your head. A lot of people think they've failed because they don't meet an expectation, but you're like, well, just flip it a little bit. That's, change that word to expectancy. It's more positive. And okay, so you didn't get done at the certain time. Well, I don't know about you, but I've learned to juggle so much that if something gets off or there's more time spent with a client than I expected, then I just kind of shift everything. But I also have learned allowing enough time in between appointments makes a difference too. But I had to learn the hard way because I used to stack everything and then that actually created more stress. But my expectation was, I thought that, oh, I could do this. This is fun, until I, went overtime with one person, and then it just was like a domino effect. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah,
and that is me too. A lot of the, when I would do coffee chats or even, I do a complimentary session with someone if they want to talk to me about coaching or something. And I've realized that even though I may set up a half an hour, I have never had one only be a half an hour. I mean, let's know yourself and to thine own self be true. There we go. It's like, know yourself. And again, we don't set up realistic expectations in that particular case. But there's so many ways like that. And I would encourage each of you to just think about the things you're doing. Look at your calendar or look at, pay attention to your life, maybe just for this week, and make some notes of what you do. And realize how sometimes we do inadvertently, we don't do it on purpose, but inadvertently we do this. It goes back to routine. We do the same things, and in that insanity, we keep doing the same things over and over, expecting a different result. Right. So we have to change. So whether it's adding an extra 15 or 30 minutes in between, appointments, or even on a Zoom call, don't make it a Zoom call at 8:00 and then do another one at 8:30, because the truth is, it would have to be, I don't know what kind of call it could be that I'd be actually off in 10 minutes. Because if you're doing a Zoom to begin with, it's right. Fairly important to begin with. Otherwise, you just pick up the phone and make a call, right?
No, I think it's, the whole clue, even with our talking about the new year, it's knowing yourself. That's the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
If there's, and if there's something that you don't really know about yourself, if you test those waters a little piece at a time, you can still make changes. And like for me, for example, I was in a meeting once where they were talking about 5-year goal. I can't think that far in advance. Sometimes it's day to day, sometimes I'm like, I just need to get, to dinner for today. Other times, other times I've got the week planned out, but that's that whole, like we're talking about, looking at the schedule, arranging it, that those kinds of things. I guess it would be knowing who you are would be the first piece.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. And I think a lot of times we don't. I'm taking a quick look over, just if you notice my eyes shifting here, sorry. I see we do have some comments on the Facebook page, but I'm not seeing them here on our streamline. So ladies, I'm gonna answer that. I'm gonna come back. But good morning, Mary Keller and Jessica. Good morning, honey. Are you feeling better? She was really sick last week. Karen, good morning, and Grace. So glad to see you guys. I see you on Facebook. If you could go in and do the little permission thing that I put, I think they're in the comments. Let me know if you're having a problem with that, because I'd love to see you showing up in my stream. Okay, now what happened here? We got this is so funny. Did you just see that? Something went across the screen.
Nothing's happening on my end because I haven't signed up, I guess. So I don't understand what's going on.
So anyway, so you guys, those couple, I called your names out. Thank you for being on. And would you go in and click and let us see, so we can see your comments over here? Maybe. Okay, I'm going to sling over here for a second. So fill us in a little bit more, Dr. Laura, so that I can do this little comment here. Sure. Hi, Angie. Good morning. And I'll do this and you talk.
Okay, well, we talked about New Year. I actually did a podcast yesterday on moving forward. I'm a believer of, even though we had some bad parts last year, what did we learn from it? There we go. You just posted something right in front of my face that talks about the viewership. So, there's always, whether it's good or bad, the experience or the situation, there's always something to learn from it. And that's what I try to hold to. And I don't know if that comes with age too. Because like you said,
there should be some advantages, don't you think?
There should be some, wisdom, I think. Yeah. So for me, I started off the podcasting and YouTube really actually took off in all of that time that I was home last year. So, and my new me this year is just continuing that development and just seeing where God wants me.
Mm-hmm. So, that is great. And I think you're right. And I think if we really do take a look at ourselves, and I love that, we really can't make change, we can't make improvement or be more successful, any of those things, without really looking at ourselves and trying to be honest with ourselves, to keep trying to be one thing. And if you feel like you're always in a place of resistance, if you're certain things you're resistant every time, that's a clue. That's a clue that either maybe you shouldn't be doing that, or maybe you should shift how you're doing it. But there's a reason why you're feeling that. If you do something and it just makes you bristle, those are all clues. Read yourself, read your own body language, how you're feeling. Not that everything's going to feel great, but I do think we do design our own life. Sometimes I know you feel like, you're just at the mercy of the world or whatever, but that's so not true.
Well, we have a choice. We do.
Yeah, we do.
It's how you're going to show up each and every day, each and every minute. Yeah. And I would say, to bounce off of, if you're feeling something, if it doesn't feel right and you don't want to look at it, go back to it later. You don't have to solve your world problems in one day. But
very true.
Because a lot of us, I work with a lot of people with chronic illness. It took a long time for that to get to the point where it's at. So it takes a long time to get that remedied and get the body back into alignment. That would be the same as far as your thought process too. It's just it's being more comfortable in who you are and more comfortable in your own shoes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And giving yourself a darn break. We don't have to beat up on ourselves all the time. And the one I have to watch is the sugar thing. And, every day is going to be my start of a new day. And then by the end of the day, I need to start over tomorrow.
Give yourself grace every day.
Say what?
Give yourself grace every day.
Yeah. It really is. And the thing is, and two, it's really okay. Now, I'm going to caveat this a little bit. If you're in doubt about yourself and some things about who you are, or what you do, or whatever that is, find someone that really loves you, someone who is your supporter. Do not go to the person who pushes you down. Go to someone who really loves you and accepts you and knows you. It could be a best friend. It could be, for me, my sister is who I go to because she's got great ideas and things like that, and my husband. And so go to someone and say, what is it? Because sometimes they can see things that you just don't see about yourself. What is it that it's like, what is it that I'm really good at? And see, I don't like to ask negative questions. Okay, maybe because I don't want to know the answers. But what is it? Because sometimes I think because we are hard on ourselves, to look at yourself in a new way this year. See, I'm going to make sure I get everything tied back to new, because you can make whatever changes. You can be happier. You can have more joy. And the more you understand yourself, you don't set yourself up for frustration, but then you can begin to do the things that really make you happy. I remember asking my husband the question, I don't know, it's probably been at least 5, 6 years, maybe even 10 years ago. But I was kind of in one of those places, not sure which direction I wanted to go. And I said, so what is it? I said, what is it that I do that you think is a strong point? What is it? Because most of the time it's what we do every day we don't even think about that shows where our strengths are. And he said, Delinda, you're the best problem solver I've ever seen. He says, nothing ever stops you. He said, if you always see another way, you'll find a way around or through or something. He says, you just look at it like a big puzzle and you put it together. And the truth is, I never saw that in myself. I said, really? He says, well, yeah. And then he gave me some examples in our life, some pretty stressful times we had gone through. And he said, you sort of think about it and then you start looking at it differently and making different choices. And so you might find out that if you ask someone, and this is such a great, and at the first of the year, this is such a great time to ask somebody that. Just sit down and say, can I buy you a cup of coffee? I just need 20 minutes of your time. I just have a couple of questions I want to ask. And say, and set it up for yourself. Say, because you are such a great friend, because we've been so close all these years, or because you're this to me, and because I so trust your opinion, what is it that you see in me that's a strength or something that I do that, what makes us great friends? And then you'll be surprised. I mean, it's really, like I said, I've done it probably 3 or 4 times in my life. And I did it the first time was when I was in Mary Kay. So find out, because then you can begin to explore maybe something new about yourself that you didn't know. And again, probably is something that you do so naturally, you don't even think it's a gift anyway, but start this new year looking at yourself in a new way, looking at your strengths and playing on your strengths and not on your weaknesses. We all have weaknesses, okay? Right. So, but why worry about it? Why not just focus on the strengths?
Well, and a reminder too, really, as followers of Jesus, and just God values us. We are valuable. Absolutely. And He gave us the gifts and strengths and everything that makes us us. And I think that's a great idea to talk with somebody that knows you well, that that you can. So I've got a real good friend that I can just say whatever, and she lets me basically dump it, and then she builds me back up. Which that's the kind of person or friend that, for what you suggest, would probably be a perfect match. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good idea.
So cool. Well, and I really suggest y'all do that, because it's very eye-opening sometimes, and it makes you. It's very humbling from the fact, for many of us, it's hard to have someone give you compliments or to tell you something, say, this is not about my ego. This is just so I can see how I could move forward more in my strengths, rather than beating up on myself, or rather than always trying to fix my weaknesses.
Yeah. Or like you're saying, you might not know something and you keep doing something that's, you keep repeating it because in your mind, the story in your head,
right,
in one certain, spot, and you might be showing up in the world totally different, and that person will tell you that. So that's really good to think about that. Good new start.
A new start. That's right. Looking at yourself in a new way. And as we've talked, and Dr. Laura and I are definitely on the same page with that, is it's all a mind game, you guys. It's all a mindset. And so the Patti LaBelle, isn't it Patti LaBelle that has New Attitude? You know,
Yes.
that's an awesome song. You know, so put that song on and play the New Attitude song. And the other thing is that let's celebrate, you guys. Let's make 2021 a year of celebration. Celebrate, applaud yourself, give yourself credit for the good things, the good changes that you're making. You know, we don't have to wait till we're at the end of the journey, because sometimes that takes longer than we think. But it's like, let's look at this and each, you know, okay, so I'm going to say, when I have a week, well, I might have to do it by the day to start with.
One step at a time, Delinda.
Yeah. So, okay, my goal to try this to do this new routine is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to focus on my business. So on Tuesday, at the end of the day, of course, today's Tuesday, and I need to go decorate at church, so that's not really happening. But we started here. Is to, you know, give myself like, yay, all right, I got some good work done today. I could still be home by noon and have a good afternoon of some work things done. But every day, give yourself credit for the things that you're doing. And maybe you look at the end of the day and say, well, I did get one good focused hour. And after the holidays, right now, I'd be happy for 1 hour of focused time. Is anybody else like that? It's like, oh my gosh, I love the holidays. But
And that brings up a point that ties into all of this is also don't forget to take time out for self-care. We were talking about that. You know, you have to take care of yourself first before you can do any of this other stuff.
Absolutely. So. That really is. And I'm going to take a shift over here because I don't see anybody making any comments in the comment board over here. So let me go over to the actual Facebook page to see. That's why my eyes are shifting, you guys. I'm not trying to be shifty.
In self-care, I'll keep talking because we talked about this. Self-care can mean, you know, taking an afternoon off, go read a book. If you're in a warm area, you could go outside. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what warm is right now. It's only like 35. The snow's melting, so I'm happy. You know, go read a book or treat yourself to a coffee or do something that you enjoy. Get a massage, sit in a sauna. I don't know. I was going to say treat yourself to a dessert. Maybe not.
I've been doing that every day. So, okay. So that's not on my list.
Yeah. Yesterday for me was day 1 of no sugar, and it was hard, but I got through. So
I didn't make it. I made it till about 9 o'clock last night.
So, but it'll take a little while, but that's good though. Pat yourself on the back. You know, this is what we talk about. Pat yourself. I made it to 9 o'clock. So today,
there we go. So we have Grace on here, says, great idea to start off the year. Elizabeth Berger, good morning, my dear friend. Nice to see you on here. Grace said, I should be able to see you now, but Grace, I don't see you on my other board. Tina Wyatt, good morning. I love seeing y'all's names on here. But no, I don't see anything else in my little message board over here. So,
we'll figure technology out one of these days.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it all figured out. So again, I switched over this morning to a new platform, mainly because it allows me to stream at the same time on my personal page, on my speaker page, and on YouTube, all 3 at the same time. So, however, it looks like there's some issues still going on with the, seeing the chat. So that was why we did not do Zoom this morning, is because I wanted to see if I could get the chat box thing working. That's my favorite part. I love to see what y'all say on here. So the other thing, just as a quick, so I suggest, okay, here's one of the things we taught in Mary Kay. If you haven't gotten a compliment on your hair in the last month, you need a new hairdo or you need to do something. Okay. So because whatever that is. And I think in COVID, there's been a lot of, for the first 9 months, we couldn't even go get our hair done, which that was a travesty. Some of you, I used to do my own color and stuff, but in the last 10 years I haven't, because once I started adding the blonde in, it got too complicated. And so, unless I want to go back to straight red and do my own, which I'm not ready to start that yet. But look at, do it like that. And this can go right in from the self-care because y'all, come on, we are women. And I don't think we have any guys joining us this morning or nobody's, we do have some guys that watch us sometime, which if you're out there, love you guys. And I don't know what to tell you about your own hair, but as women, how we feel about how we look is really important. And I'm not saying you have to be a beauty queen and go out there every day. However, I would say, maybe you're feeling a little after the holidays, you've eaten more, all this stuff, just go and try maybe a new hairdo. This is usually the time when I do something drastic. So I'm trying not to do anything drastic. So whether it's add a few highlights in your hair or just get it freshened up, just going to the salon and getting it freshened up. What are you wearing the same lipstick that you've been wearing for the last year or 2 or 10? Go get a new lipstick. I mean, really, that's not that hard. It'll cost you how much? 15, 20, depends on what brand you like, maybe 5.
Or buy a new shirt or buy a dress or
yeah, just something new to refresh your spirit, because even through the holidays and just the whole pandemic, this whole thing that we've been through last year, which is, some of this is still following us. We know that. But we tend, because we're home more, that we haven't been doing those things. So, yeah, this is actually a new sweater shirt that Bill got me for Christmas. I did show him, because he's colorblind, that this is my favorite hot pink color. And I said, this is the one I really like. So he did. Just something like that. New pair of earrings. I got some new earrings on this month.
Those are cool.
It's kind of fun. Just little things. A new pair of earrings, a new lipstick color. Go get a new haircut. Change your eyeshadow, or do your eyes a little bit different than you normally do. All those are just little lifts that you can give yourself to then, that helps motivate you to take something that maybe is a little more important than what lipstick you're wearing. Make sense?
Yes, totally. And another new thing that you could do, reach out to somebody else. I mean, that always makes us feel good when you reach out to somebody or support somebody. And I know Jennifer has talked about that in your past podcast live stream stuff. But yeah, reach out to somebody else. It always feels good to give.
Absolutely, it does. And I think too, that kind of gets us out of ourselves. So there is this, got the pocket over here of self-care and taking care of yourself. I think when we do that, then we also we're more ready to give. I think, like you say, you can't fill from you can't pour from an empty cup. So you do have to take, it's important to take care of ourselves so that we can give to others and show that appreciation to others. And maybe there's somebody that's really been a good support for you over the last few months that you can just reach out to them and say, I'm just really grateful going to the new year. I wanted to really, reach out and thank them for the difference that they've made in your life in the last couple of months or the last year, whatever that is.
Exactly.
And that certainly.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah, it really does. And here we are at the top of the hour that goes so fast. Dr. Laura, thank you for being here this morning. And I don't know, I'm thinking, we might just keep talking about new next week. And I just letting y'all know that I am celebrating my birthday. Okay. I think Kathy's birthday. Is this week.
Kathy's birthday is today.
So. It's today. Oh my gosh. Well, I knew it was like right here. So happy birthday, Kathy. I know she's on here. I don't, like I said, I can't see her over in the post, but I am celebrating the whole month. Bill and I told Bill, I said, I do not want to be home. And so we are going, I know some of y'all are going to be pointing your fingers at me, but we're going to be very careful. But we're going to Miami for 3 days, whenever that is. My birthday is actually the 18th. And I really can hardly believe the age that I am, but I'm celebrating every day because, every day we're alive is a good day, right?
Exactly.
And,
yeah. Age is just a number.
It is just a number because it is a mindset, how you feel.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
So 2 weeks from today, I will be broadcasting by myself, probably, because I hope to be out on the beach in Miami and be talking to you from there to give you hope that there is life after COVID.
Awesome. That sounds wonderful. Wonderful. Well, this has
So,
been great. Thank you very much. This has been
yeah,
fun.
this is always so fun. I always love it when you join in. All right, everybody, go make it a great, great day, great week, and think about how you can look at your life in a new way and appreciate yourself more. Because remember that life is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. So choose wisely, choose some way to look at yourself in a new way, in a new positive way, and we're going to make this the best year ever. So the best is yet to come in 2021. All right, bye now.
Bye-bye.
See ya.